Hi all, this is a slightly overdue reading vlog video. As per my last few, I went on a crazy reading binge in April and I did continue that almost through the whole month. I ended up falling off for reasons I'll chat about a bit at the end if you're interested for the last week or so. So this is pretty much everything else that I read in April, I think. As always, I will be chatting spoilers. Most of these are volume 1s, and in my mind, volume 1 is fair game, but otherwise, yeah, there will be spoilers, and if you don't want to be spoiled on a particular volume, do check out the timestamps and skip over anything you don't want to be spoiled over. So this time we have 23 volumes. I think I've been doing like mid-20s for most of these, if just a bit over, so I think this is a little lower than the others, but still fine. I'm a bit annoyed at myself because it has been about a month since I read most of these, so it's not going to be as fresh, which was the whole point, but hey ho, I'm going to get back on top of it. So the first volume on here is My New Devil Wife. This is a volume 1, it is from One Piece Books. It is, yeah, about a mercenary who's super weak and has kind of been on his own, and he's kind of like looked after by the local adventurers guild, and he decides what he needs to do is get stronger by summoning a demon, and he does, and asks the demon to marry him, and they agree, and that's who that is. Most of that I think is fine. There's one big major thing I disliked, which I'll talk about in a moment, but otherwise, like the general story, it was fine. I don't think it's an isekai. I can't remember. No, I don't think it is. It's just a fantasy, bland, generic male. Yeah. What I disliked is the age of the male character. I think he's 15, but they also talk about how he could be easily mistaken for a 10-year-old. And a lot of the women characters are very, what's the word? Sexual towards him. Maybe not necessarily outright, but it's more suggestive than I like to see, especially when it's in the same like sentence or panel talking about how he looks a lot younger than he is. It's not my jam. So probably won't rush to get more of this one. I don't remember what else plot there was. I think it's just like his wife protecting him and being super powerful around him. I don't remember much more outside of that. Otaku Gal or Otaku Gal Volume 1, depending how you pronounce it. This is about a gal who is seeking help from an otaku on a variety of things. So I think one of the first things is she seeks help from him for is painting nails, like ones that you like glue on, not like just doing her nails on her, like making, I forgot what the word is, where you like the design the nail on like a plastic or acrylic and then you like glue it to your nail. Getting his help with painting some of those in a style that she wants because of his experience with like miniatures and figures and stuff. And we kind of have like a different theme-ish, I think, per chapter, and it's just them being close and cute and it's quite nice. I would 100% describe it as like a toned down, more fluffy My Dress Up Darling. That kind of dynamic between the characters is pretty similar. There's just a lot less sexualized outfits. So maybe if you had some issues with My Dress Up Darling because of that aspect, potentially give this a go. You might enjoy this one more. It's very cute. I think I'll stay up to date for a couple more volumes and then make a decision if I progress it to like sale section series instead. Next we have Reincarnated Carrier's Strategy for Another World Volume 1. This is very sexual. Yeah, as the title, he is reborn in another world as a carrier, which is a super weak class and everyone takes the piss out of him for it. Yet he just pretty much goes around boning women. There are some hilarious panels that I would love to share, but I cannot on YouTube, of some of the scenes during. It's just so silly and dumb. I think it is hilarious. Otherwise, it was a terrible story, and I'm not rushing to grab more. If I see it in a sale section, I'll probably grab the next couple of volumes because I think just it was really silly. But I didn't necessarily enjoy it. I was enjoying the dumbness during some of the mature moments. I also probably wouldn't recommend it. I also can't get over her chest. It looks like a pair of panties. It does look like a pair of panties. In terms of like any other plot, I think he's just traveling around and he's gained her as a companion. I don't remember much else that was happening. I'm giving a disgraced noble lady I rescued a crash course in Naughtiness, Volume 9. I love this series. It's so lovely. It scares people off because of the dodgy sounding title, but it is the opposite of dodgy. absolutely lovely. And I quite liked what's happened in this volume. I quite like where the plot's gone. Did leave on a bit of a cliffhanger though, so that's a bit of a shame. I can't wait for 10. It Takes More Than a Pretty Face to Fall in Love Volume 1. This has been on my shelves for a while, but in April, I think I've talked about it in some of my other reading vlogs, there was like a bingo board in the Dude at Discord server called Anything Goes April with 100 prompts, and I was really gunning to try and complete it. Once I got to about 70 volumes read, which is a lot, I had to start trying to narrow down my reads to try and pick ones to meet prompts. Up until that point, I pretty much just read something and then tried to find a prompt for it and kind of looked out for the most part. But as I was getting less and less prompts, I was being more precise. I think I picked this because of the year it was published. I think there were prompts from like published in 2020 all the way up to 2026. It was pretty dang cute. I've been on a bit of a romance high school binge as of late. There are a few other series that I've been reading a bunch of. There's a couple in here as well. And this just ticked all my boxes. It's about this guy who's a pretty face and people are attending this high school just to be able to go to school with a pretty face. But he's not doing well in school. I can't remember if he's like bad at it or he just doesn't attend classes, and the compromise from the school is we won't expel you, but can you run a social media account to like draw students into the school so we can get more funding. Except he has no idea what he's doing, and he ends up accidentally enlisting the help of this girl who likes this face. And now it's the whole like, well, there's more to me than just my looks, you're gonna get to know me for the real me. And like, it's so cheesy, it's so corny, and I don't care. I think that's exactly what I'm fancying at the moment. I've been like properly going for it with a bunch of titles. I have picked up the rest of what is out. I already have 2, so I've ordered 3 through 5, so you'll see that in an upcoming haul video in the next however many. I'm trying to catch up on videos. I'm very, very behind it right now, but I have like 6 to fill. So I'm going to see if I could film 6 in a week and get myself back up to date like an absolute mad lad, even though I'm not very well at the moment. So we'll just see what I can actually physically manage. It's the heat. It's gotten to me. I'm so easily prone to heat exhaustion. I just can't keep anything down when I do. So it's been a bit grim the last few days. Anywho, Reincarnated in a Mafia dating sim, volume 3. I think if I recall correctly, this and the last couple of volumes, I was traveling for work. I was traveling loads in April, and I was traveling for work, and unfortunately on one of my trips to London there was a big issue coming back. We ended up stuck outside of Grantham for like 4 hours. It was so hot. It was like the busiest train I'd ever been on. The toilet in our carriage was out of order. They didn't have much food and water. They had no idea what was going on. And then we finally pulled into Grantham, which is like halfway to Wakefield, which is where we go. And then they went, yeah, we can't go any further. We're turning the train around back to London. And we're like, well, shit. We did manage to taxi our way back from Grantham to Wakefield, but I read all of these on that train, and I think the last 2 or 3, and I was just like losing my mind. I was overheating, it was uncomfortable, we had no idea what was happening. And reading this, for whatever reason, like did calm me down. I quite have enjoyed this. She is reincarnated in a Mafia dating sim. As the title says, a Yakuza heiress becomes the top-ranked villain's romantic target, and this is the top-ranked villain. And I just really like their back and forth. I like that she's trying to get away with him, get away from him, and it's not really working. I have actually also read volume 4 because I tried so hard to not read the next volumes of anything I'd not talked about. Completely forgot about this one, so I've read volume 4 of this one. But we're just kind of like continuing on like what's going on in the story of the mobile game, except things are happening a bit differently. And she's getting closer to the villain character, and I love the colours of these spines. This one's my favourite as well. It's like greeny blue. Yeah, definitely enjoying. My Quiet Blacksmith Life in Another World, volume 1. Guy is reincarnated. He wants a quiet life. He's going to be a blacksmith. He is given like OP skills to be a blacksmith. He is isekai'd because he jumps in front of a truck to save a cat, and he's like, I like cats. It's the only reason I jumped in front of that truck. And I'm like, oh, this is relatable content. And it turns out the cat is God, basically, and patrols multiple universes and gives him like skills and abilities so he can be an OG blacksmith. And for the most part, that's the kind of thing I've really enjoyed. He's becoming a blacksmith. He is gathering ingredients, he's materials, he's forging these weapons and then goes to town and sells them. And they're very good because he's the OP isekai man. And then there's just like the bit with the cat girl and barely dressed and mate suggesting to be it's gonna go romantic, sorry. And it's just like, can we not? Can we have the other bits and not that? And why are they always looking so young? Why can I see so much for butt cheeks? Because it's J-Novel Club and they're a bit more pricey, I might sit on it for a bit, but I don't know how good they are with reprints. It's become quite a topic recently. There was some whiffiness with Tokyo Pop and then like talking about 7Cs and like they're not against reprints, but they don't have the space to store them. So like, do I need to stay more up to date on 7Cs? I don't know what J-Novel Club's like. I should have a little look around some of the older titles to see what they're like to decide. Ghost and Witch, Volume 1. This is a title by the same person that did Ancient Mage's Bride, and it's actually set in the same world, and there is even a mention of it at some point. So Ancient Mage's Bride is set, I think, in England, and this one is set in Ireland. Now, I don't really claim to necessarily be Irish myself. My mother is from Northern Ireland, so I do have the hereditary passport. I've always wanted to go and spend more time in Ireland. I think I've actually been like 6-7 times. A mix of Northern Ireland and Dublin for the most part. I have always fancied going and touring around a little bit more. Maybe with my mum, possibly, don't know. Depends if she'd be down. But yeah, otherwise it's pretty similar, like in terms of folklore and world building to Ancient Mage's Bride. A character seems to be cursed and they have fled from Japan to Ireland to try and seek a cure, and they run into people and shenanigans with other like folklore bits around occur. If you are an Ancient Mage's Bride fan, I would definitely give it a go. Same universe and all that. Same kind of story, just new characters, new setting. It is currently discounted on Blackwell's. I need to check when I'm going to post this video, but if you're interested, go check it out because it's discounted on there when I last looked. Blades of Guardians, Volume 1. This is a title from Kana, and it has a dust jacket, because I think all Kana has a dust jacket. It's very red. Primarily, we are focusing on this mercenary man whose name I forget, and he's touring around and does mercenary things in exchange for money. It's set 607 AD during the Sui dynasty. Dao Mao's his name. A bounty hunter, traveling the Gobi Desert. It's a bit more on the like brutal, gory side, if that's not your jam, but otherwise I did actually kind of enjoy it. Especially as Kana is typically on the cheaper side. I think they're like £9.99 in pounds. Yep, it does say on the back there, £9.99. I'll probably at least pick up the next couple and see what I think of the story still. Cats with Jobs, Volume 2. I always love series from Pandania. And just all the different jobs are great. Where was my favourite one? There was one I took a picture of to send to my sister. This is it. The pole dancer. I thought that was great. I thought that was excellent. But yeah, these are just 4 Coma little silly light-hearted skits and stories around cats with different themes. The theme of this series is jobs, and each 4 Coma-ish, maybe they get a couple of pages, is just cats doing their different job. That's all there is to it. Winter Wolf Volume 2. I'm still uncertain on like, what's the plot of this? They've boned a lot. I won't even actually open it because I think they boned that much. I'm gonna try. Yep, they were boning. I feel like there was some form of plot of like she's trying to escape somewhere, but like now they're having to lie low while they're waiting for some of like the ice to melt so she can go get on a boat, I think. And in the meantime, might as well keep warm. I don't even think I dislike it. I think I feel a bit more indifferent to it. That's not, especially story-wise. But are you always necessarily reading these sort of stories for the story? Not So Shoujo Love Story Volume 3. This is just hilarious. It's just the best humour. This volume focused on Valentine's Day, which was perfect because one of the prompts I had was like seasonal events was on the board, and that's what I use this one for, because Valentine's. I love that the two of them have started talking now in a slightly more romantic way, as opposed to her just disliking her. It's getting more cute. I can't wait for more. Magilumiere Magical Girls Volume 1. She's on the hunt for a job and she ends up working at a magical girls agency, and she's actually like alright at it. She reads all the manuals and understands how things work. It's like a more modern day Japan merged with magical girls. Like, what would a magical girls place be in like corporate Japan? It was a fun read, and I do have a whole bunch more because I got loads on World of Books pretty cheap, and also Geeky Dreams really likes it and made me pick up a bunch more as well. So I think I have like 10 currently, so I have plenty to read. Masterful Cat is Depressed Again Volume 1. I feel like it just needs a cat in it and then I'll quite happily enjoy it. It was very nice. This office worker has a cat that just kept growing, and the cat kind of now looks after her, even though she's a bit shit and like does not have her life together. 4-E stories. Sometimes there are some that aren't outright 4 pages, but most of them are, and it's just silly. Lovely with cats. I think I have like a splattering because sometimes I've picked up some on sale or secondhand. So I don't have really much of a clear run, and it's somewhere in the teens now, or early double digits. This one might have been a used copy, actually, looking at this corner. I think if you like cats and like lighthearted, then this is one to try. Just like Mona Lisa Volume 3, I read this, what was the prompt I read this one for? It might have been sports. I think one of the characters plays some sports in it. I think otherwise, so I am enjoying it, but I think because it's just finished, I think in English, I think the last couple of volumes have come out. I really want to read it all in one go. I read 1 and 2 together a couple of years ago, and then reading this, I just didn't think I felt like I got as into it as I did reading 1 and 2. I think I have 4 and 5, and it's complete at like 10, 11 or so, so I'm just going to try and get the rest and then read the rest together to take in the story that way, and then when I've read it all, I'll talk again about my thoughts. I think it's a really interesting concept, and I do love the use of blue to highlight things. I love use of colour like this in manga. Good. Eri. This is a one-shot by the same person who did Chainsaw Man. I have read another one-shot by... Actually, I've read a few things by them. Not really read Chainsaw Man though, Ben has. Now, I didn't think it was a bad read. As with a number of other stories, I did find it a compelling read. I did go through it quickly. I don't think I necessarily enjoyed it, but I also feel like that was kind of the point. I didn't really like any of the characters. I didn't really like the ending. It just sort of happened. It was an interesting way of telling a story by having it all done through like the guy recording. So like, I'm not saying it's bad, which like feels like sometimes that happens. Like, oh, I didn't enjoy this, and then I get people in the comments are like, why did you hate it? And it's like, I didn't say I hated it. Or like, why do you think it's bad? And it's like, I don't think it's bad. I just didn't enjoy it. They are 2 different words, 2 different meanings. I don't think it's bad. It's just not for me. Which makes me and about Chainsaw Man, but Ben seems to be into it. A lot of people seem to be into it. So maybe it'll hit me differently the way this and Look Back have. Pink and Habanero Volume 2. I think I just fancied like a lighthearted high school romance volume, and this series I could like see from bed or something. I think where my bookshelves are next to my bed on my side, like it's just there. This is the one I saw. It's a very nothing series. He is a bit short and a bit of a douche to her, but she gets to see the real side. Our Not So Lonely Planet Travel Guide Volume 1. This has been on my shelves for a wee while as well. I have ordered some more. I had like 1, 2, and 4 because I bought them like on sale or something. I've ordered a few more. I think I'm missing 5 though. I don't think that was in stock. So these 2 are dating, and one of them has quit his job and has said to his boyfriend that he'll marry him once they've been around the world, if they go on a trip around the world together first. Yeah. And that's it. That's them. It's them traveling around. We've gone to 3 countries in this one. We've gone to Thailand, India, and Georgia. And they meet people, and they see things, and they eat food. And I was genuinely surprised at how much I liked it. I really liked it. Though having read some reviews, I've done a lot more of like reading reviews after I've read a volume. A lot of the reviews were like, they feel like it wasn't BL enough for them. I think I'm fine with that. I really liked reading about a series that was about traveling and focusing on the countries and the culture and the cuisine and the people. I really liked seeing it. It just also happens to be a BL in my eyes. Maybe that'll change with later volumes, but I'm not opposed if that is kind of like the vibe that the series maintains, and that's the focus, and we've kind of got like side bits of their relationship. But I look forward to more now. This has moved up my to-read list. 100th times the charm. She was executed 99 times, so how did she unlock Super Love Mode Volume 3? I actually have Volume 4, but I have purposely put off reading it until I talked about it because the ending was like quite a big cliffhanger. So yeah, the basic plot is she is stuck in a time loop. She's being executed every time. Everyone seems to turn on her and side with the saint. The saint is saying she's a terrible person. And then on her 100th loop, she's like accumulated enough magic to be able to hear people's thoughts, read their minds. And what she realizes is no one hates her. They're all being like manipulated and they're not in control of the words they're saying or their actions. She then manages to escape, tries to lay low, pretend she's died. Everyone thinks she's dead. She can now like live free. Obviously it doesn't last very long. She ends up finding people. She decides to try and confront the saint because she's like hurting other people as well, and she's not going to let them do that. Everyone discovers the truth. And then the end of Volume 3 is her like sacrificing herself to bring down the saint, which seems to suggest it's going to start another loop. The very, very last text box here, and that's the story of how she met her end for the 101st time. And it's quite similar to, I was going to say another story, but that's a spoiler and you wouldn't be expecting it, so that's not fair. But there is another story which kind of resets the loop once progress has like kind of been made. And like I was completely caught unawares and I was like, God damn! And now everything she knows, how is she going to approach that? And I assume that's what's going to happen in Volume 4, which is why I didn't want to read it before talking about it. But I kind of like being caught unawares when I'm reading. If I'm like, damn, I didn't realise or expect that to happen, I enjoy that. So I quite enjoyed this for that reason. And everyone like learning the truth and seeing her for who she is at the end. And the prince appearing as well. Also the prince standing up to the saint. Everything for Demon King Evelogia, Volume 1. This is a plastic wrap 7 Seas BL. So the premise is this guy has been isekai'd into his like favourite BL game or favourite game of some sort, and he absolutely adored the Demon King, which is this guy. And he's just absolutely astounded that he's in the game and he can talk to his favourite character. He like can't help himself and runs into him and is just like, I love you, I'm smitten with you, please like be with me. Obviously this guy is not yet a demon king, demon lord. He's quite a shy, timid child, just gonna say that. And he's a bit awkward and he's a bit of an outcast because he's quite overly powerful and can't control it very well, so causes issues for the village and his parents. And quite quickly, they end up leaving the village together to kind of try and like, I don't know, just make it out on their own. I don't really remember exactly why or where they're going, but they've left the village and they're traveling together. And that sounds fine-ish, but it is very smutty. It's very explicit. They bone. And what I don't like is how much they are skirting around the age of the Demon King. Like even on the back here, they say, he hasn't come into his power yet, he's still in a younger form. Or you're dressed up as Evelogia when he was a kid. And I feel like it's on purpose that they're not mentioning age, but they're saying phrases and words that I don't want to hear when it comes to explicit titles. So otherwise that's a no-go for me. Weirdly, it has an anime. I was absolutely shocked to see that it has an anime. Apparently it skirts over all the smutty bits, unsurprisingly. Also, it's really long for a BL title. It's on like 8 volumes, which is just a bit crazy. Yeah, nope, not for me. Next, I read a faku called Wholesome Gals. And I think I can show that. That is an elbow. Get any mind out of the gutter. That is an elbow. It's called Wholesome Gals. I read it because of the funny title. It is about a group of ladies who own their own brothel, and it follows some of the different ladies through the chapters and trying to promote the brothel. There is actually a vaguely ongoing story with it. Or do they call it a soapland? I don't have a synopsis on my faku to remind me. Yeah, ongoing story following this one business and some of the gals there. As always, I will never be necessarily recommending a faku unless like we're like close, because it's weird. Because I'm basically asking what your kinks are, and I'm not doing that. Next we have Bug Ego Volume 1. It is a new story from One, who is the same guy as Mob Psycho and One Punch Man. The plot of this is there are these weird like glitches that are happening in the real world, but they're like, for the most part, really weird and shit. It's like at a particular time of day, if you put these coins into a vending machine and press these buttons, a pigeon will fall from the sky down the road near a street lamp without fail. It's like that kind of level of a bit shit. Or how to like have guaranteed control over your dreams, or have weird dreams and things to not do and to do. Yeah, stuff like that. If you're into some like weird, creepy things, you'd probably enjoy it. For me, it's too weird and creepy, especially the creepiness. I don't like creepy. Like generally when I say I don't like horror, it's not necessarily like scary things, especially when reading. For the most part, what I dislike is jump scares. Can't really get jump scared when reading much, TM. So when I'm reading, the next thing I really dislike is creepy. Don't mind like murder mystery and stuff like that that can fall under horror, kinda-ish, I guess. But I don't like creepy, which this 100% falls under. So if you enjoy any of that kind of thing that I talked about, you might enjoy this, but it's not for me. Not glitches, sorry, hacks. They call them hacks, my bad. Last volume to talk about today is Doggo, Volume 1. I would say the humour of this falls a bit between Way of the House Husband and Rooster Fighter. It is a talking dog who finds himself adopted by the daughter of a Yakuza Mafia family, and he's kind of just trying to live the sweet life while looking out for her as a like fighting dog thing. It's just very silly slapstick humour. Again, Way of the House Husband meets Rooster Fighter, I would say. Probably more like the Rooster Fighter like level of humour, but it's like kind of more like modern day. There isn't really like supernatural outside of the talking dog for the most part, I think. I think I'll keep up with a few more volumes and then make a decision on how I want to collect it after that. I could see this becoming a sale series volume, but we'll see. And with that, we are done with today's reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I haven't filmed a video in like over a month now. I've been doing a room reorg, which I'm actually almost finished. It's like I've been trying to do so much stuff with other things and this video, and I've just not had a chance to film, like sit and chat about what I've read and stuff. So this has been quite nice. But yeah, in April, I generally found I was doing so much work and so much stuff with the house. I was pretty much like waking up, working a few hours, read a volume, work a few hours, read a volume, and then I go to bed. And pretty much even like on weekends I was doing that as well. So I was getting lots of reading done as like a break, and then all my deadlines kind of finished and I just kind of like fell over a bit. To this day, we're still very confused why like this one industry we work with seems to like had like everything happen in the same like 6-week period. It was like happening everywhere. It was horrific, but it's all calmed down. We got through it-ish. And now the only thing I'm fine with is the heat. Oh no, that's not true. All the house stuff's kicked off. Some of the rooms are finished and have like carpet and they've been painted. It might be that this Christmas I can do another house tour and there won't be building work. That would be really exciting. Anywho, I'm wibbling on enough. I have other videos I'm going to try and film to be good and productive. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found it interesting. Let me know if I've tempted you with anything or tempted you away from anything. And as always, I hope you have the most wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!